Dog owner leaves note on neighbor's door and gets heartwarming response. Between continuously barking at the wall or always eating their own waste, pets are known to have some pretty strange behaviors. But do pet owners ever really get an explanation for these animals' weird actions? When a woman named Kacy noticed her dog intently staring out the window several times a day, she chalked it up to him wanting to go for a walk. However, when she finally realized what actually had him so captivated, it changed everything she knew about her beloved pet. For nearly a year, a woman named Kacy noticed her dog would walk up to the same window 3 times a day and just stare. Kacy had no idea what could possibly have held her dog's attention for such long periods of time. At first, Kacy thought he simply wanted to go outside, but every time she tried to take him, he pulled away and returned to her apartment window. It was behavior like she'd never seen before, and frankly, it worried her. One afternoon, seemingly out of the blue, her dog was acting depressed. He sat on her bed all day, refused to eat, and didn't peer out the window once. Even when she went in to try to comfort him, he'd shy away. What was going on? This behavior was even more unlike Kacy's four-legged companion. That night, Kacy slept alongside him, hoping her company could cheer him up. She planned to take him to the vet the next morning to see if anything was physically wrong. She was scared there was. Thankfully, the vet gave Kacy's dog a clean bill of health the next day. But when they got back home, her dog again walked past the window and into her bedroom. Finally, Kacy glanced out the window herself and noticed something different. Her neighbor put a bunch of houseplants in their window. Surely this couldn't be why her dog was upset. As she was looking at the plants, however, she finally caught a glance at what her dog had been so transfixed on. It was the cat that belonged to her neighbor across the street. Although cats and dogs aren't usually the best of friends, these two clearly couldn't get enough of each other from afar. Kacy was in awe. Her dog didn't even like cats. Although Kacy had never interacted with her neighbor before, she decided to write them a note and explain the situation. She hoped that as a fellow animal lover, they would understand the heartbreak her dog felt and be willing to help. Kacy had put her all into the letter. Her dog was still moping around her apartment, but hopefully not for much longer. Would Kacy's neighbor reciprocate the care, even though the two had never met before? The next morning, Kacy was ecstatic when she looked out her window and saw that not only had her neighbor removed the pots from the window, but they answered her letter with a letter of their own that read, "For true love." Kacy's neighbor knew how important their cat's presence was to Kacy's dog, and they didn't want to be the reason an animal suffered heartbreak. Kacy hoped one day both animals could finally meet and let their passion for each other grow even stronger. It's not uncommon at all for cats and dogs to become little lovebirds. You don't have to look very far on the internet to find examples of true love and friendship blossoming between cats and dogs everywhere. This cat and her golden retriever best friend are basically inseparable. They spend their days together napping and hanging out. They're even content to pose with each other for their owner's occasional photo shoots. Every kitten needs a role model to look up to as they grow, and that role model doesn't always have to be an older cat. Take this pup and the kitten she's so patiently raising. Frisky kittens and patient older dogs are a match made in heaven. For this Siamese kitty, one puppy to love wasn't nearly enough. 2 dogs to cuddle with is twice as nice. Look at how happy this kitty is to have made herself the center of the world's most adorable sandwich. This dog in Japan performs with his owners on the streets almost every day. His best friend? A lovable stray cat who cannot wait to go up to his dog and meow an eager "hello" every time his bespectacled buddy hits the scene. These two snuggle bunnies are definitely made for each other. The dog's name is Cody and the cat is Mishkin, and their solid bond formed when Mishkin was just 10 weeks old. Cody even battled cancer at one point, and Mishkin was by his side every step of the way. Ruth the cat and Idgie the dog were both found abandoned together, so they were adopted together. They're named after the famous friends in the film Fried Green Tomatoes, and now these two animals share a cozy home and a bed together. The love this cat named Scout had for his dog friend Charlie never diminished, even after Charlie passed away. Now Scout watches videos of his old friend on the computer every night before he goes to sleep. There aren't many animal stories more touching than this. No morning ever truly starts until this Dalmatian receives a hug and a kiss from his kitten pal. Let's face it, every day would be a little better if before we left the house we were embraced by a four-legged little furball like this guy.